Hey everyone, it's Cherik here. I hope okay. I genuinely really miss you. We're going to be participating in a remote English class. I'm sure you already know that. But honestly, it's not that different than what we already do. So, the difference for you guys, though, is that when you communicate with me, you're going to be doing it through email and through messages on Google Classroom. So get in the habit of checking your email, as well as just following up on any comments that you get on Google Classroom. But biggest things that you need to know is number one, first of all, I have to take attendance, so I will be doing that and doing a check-in on Wednesdays and Fridays. So make sure you're doing what you need to do, that you're active on Google Classroom and finishing your assignments and asking me questions so that I can mark you as here. Make sure that you're checking your school email. And I have office hours. So those are going to take place on Tuesday through Friday. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, my office hours are noon to 2. And Wednesday and Friday, they are from 10 to 11. I'll make sure that I post that below. But that's just like what we're doing. So like if we're writing an essay in class or we're reading something in class and you have questions, it's just like when I circulate around the classroom and you're like raising your hand, it's the same thing. So I'm available from those times. So please make sure if you have any questions and if you're reading it outside of school hours, that you're writing stuff down and you're ready to ask me questions. And if you email me, I will answer those in the order that they come in too. So I know this is an adjustment for everyone and I'm happy to help you. I just wanted to walk us through the week. We read A Jury of Her Peers, Women in Ancient Rome, and Health Study About Girls' Pain. However, it's been a minute. So as of tonight, Monday night at midnight, those questions about those are due. So make sure that you get those done. You can find those on Classroom. Some of them are through they're all through Common Lit, actually, but make sure you just take a minute and look back over them because you're going to have to synthesize those different assignments for your next assignment. So make sure you're familiar with those. We are taking A Jury of Her Peers, and then you're choosing either Women in Ancient Rome or Health Study About Girls' Pain. You're choosing one of those to write a type 2 paragraph where you find the common central idea and then you synthesize how each author kind of develops that central idea, because they're going to do it in different ways. Because A Jury of Her Peers, that's a short story. Whereas these other two articles, they're articles. So you're going to want to make sure that you look at how those authors make that obvious, whatever that central idea is. So few things that we could brainstorm in general. The way that an author is using his craft to develop a central idea, using things like symbolism and characterization and imagery, things like that are very different than what a nonfiction author would use. Things like facts and statistics and, maybe an anecdote here and there. So we're going to start looking at that, breaking in the fiction piece, which again, that, we couldn't even read it in a single day. They took time to build the characters up and then also build in lots of little things, like not just the little microaggressions that the men were making against the women, like, hey, we're dismissing everything you're saying because, you're no value of society. And then also the women who kind of sided with their kinfolk saying, oh, well, we feel bad for her because she had to cook on this nasty stove. And also the experience, that Mrs. Hale had, like the fact that she knew her as a young person and then after she married, that you could see she was kind of similar to that symbol of the bird, you know, who like, she was kind of like a bird, you know, where she would sing before and now she's been silenced, kind of like the bird that they found. The whole reason we're doing that is because we're practicing for your summative assessment about central ideas. So on Tuesday, tomorrow, you're going to be working on some transition practices, which actually, I gotta say, you guys are amazing at using transitions in your essays. I'm really proud of that. But we need to make sure we're using them purposefully. So I do have some practice on Classroom that talks about like how you can use transitions, not just, you know, to move from one idea to another, but then, okay, so are you going to use contrasts? Instead of saying like, in addition to this, like you're going to say something like, another way you can do this. So we're going to try to look at the transitions you're using and try to use them purposefully so that when you get to your essay, you kill it on that FCA. The other thing that you're going to do is we're going to be looking, I'm going to give you guys a quiz over parts of an essay because, you know, well, when we planned this, we thought, oh, you'll be taking your state test and you need to write an essay. But at the end of the day, you always have to write essays. Like, even when you're trying to compose a fancy email, sometimes you go through that same thought process of, okay, how am I going to do this where I build it up and then I, you know, make my main point and how do I make that better? So, you know, even if you're not the person who's going to go to college, I think it's important to learn these skills so that when you have to get your way, you can like make your position as clear as you can. So I do think that, you know, writing is super important. So what I want you to do is, yeah, we're going to take a quiz over parts of the essay on Tuesday, tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, you guys are going to be revisiting The Telltale Heart. I know it was a favorite. I know I've kind of talked to a few people about it. So you'll be going back and looking at that, answering questions, making sure you understood the story, because what you're going to be doing is, shocker, determining the central idea, and then you're going to be reading a, sorry guys, nonfiction article, and you're going to determine the central idea of that, and you'll be looking at both of those texts and then determining the common central idea and then how each author creates that. Again, any text can have multiple central ideas, you know, and multiple takeaways and themes. So we're looking for a common central idea, and then we're also going to look at how each author does it. So we're going to start brainstorming how, you know, somebody who's doing something nonfiction versus somebody who's doing something fiction, how they do that. Hello, this is my child here. So in terms of okay, miss you, believe it or not. I hope everyone's doing okay. I know this is like a really weird, unprecedented time we're living in, and I hope y'all are taking care of yourself and your people. I hope you're doing okay in your pod. You know, my own children are literally climbing the walls at this point, so I hope, you know, we're all in this together. So do your best, and just remember, this is the beginning of your life. You know, like this part of your life would be the montage scene that would have cute music and, you know, quarantine day 5, quarantine day 11, blah, 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 you know, and they would skip through all the boring parts and get to the really exciting stuff. So just remember, there's exciting stuff to come.